And we are live. Cool. Diego, howdy. Hope
What's
all
up?
is well. Hope you're doing great. How was your
Yeah,
4th of July weekend?
it was good. I was just at home chilling with the family, but no work. I didn't have any school stuff, so I just had time to go to the gym, play basketball. Been dialing in my jumper, and big thing I learned is you need your glutes to shoot. It's a truth. Like I tell people, and they start laughing because they're like, "Why the glutes?" I'm like, "Bro, it's just the way my posture was, my glutes were not very strong per se." And I was like, I shot and I intentionally thought like, let me just push forward with that. And then I just felt I had so much more power than I've had in so long. And I was like, this is crazy. So just dialing in that, working on some moves, just trying to get the shot. That was a big thing because this last season in my rec league on a rec league team, I was just like, man, I can't shoot for the life of me. So I'm trying to redial that. And it was pretty good. So
Yeah, I'm trying to get the pull-up shot,
hmm
like right, and like the step back, and I'm noticing like one of my legs are weaker than the other.
really,
Because when I go one way, I'm like, oh, I feel confident moving in this direction. Then when I try to step back of my right foot or pull up on like right left or left right and changing the
yeah,
footwork, I'm noticing it's a lot more uncomfortable for me to do that because I don't normally do that in my game. I'm like a very
hmm
read and react type player, like where it's like I catch, I drive, or shoot a three. Like I
yeah,
never work on like the mid range part of my game unless it's in a workout and stuff. So I've been working on some combos where it's like I'll do like a push cross and then like a random James Harden tween into a step back. That's been something that's been working for me a lot. So,
hmm
but I've been changing my workouts a bit. So I like look at like 3 or 4 different workouts between like different basketball trainers, and then I'll try
yeah,
and just to exercise different muscles in different ways to get to things and say like, oh, what feels more natural, and like test what I can do well. But
yeah.
um, yeah, no, it's interesting. Like I didn't really see any gyms open. What gym did he go to? Because I didn't.
Oh, I just went to the Y because I know because my parents still have a membership and my dad kind of, he's just like, if they don't ask you, just walk in. And I was like,
Are you
I'm
serious?
scared. Yeah. He
I
just,
think my dad like went off on one of the Y members
yeah,
um, when I was trying to get a guest pass because like the rules were just like weird and they were just giving me
yeah,
a hard time.
yeah,
So whenever he comes in, they just recognize him because they're like, "Oh, that's the guy that started a fight." So
yeah.
it's
Nice.
like I can't get out of it. So I used the like guest pass I think one day, but yeah, all
Yeah.
the gyms are pretty close during 4th of July. So
Fort
Fort Hill
Hill.
runs were a no go, but yeah, I
It's
mean,
open.
just working on my game outside 7 in the morning to avoid getting like rashes
True.
and like
Just dying of heat exhaustion.
yeah, exactly. Like I love the frontier parks now. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's pretty good out there.
yeah, I've been working on that part of my game. Um, and I remember if I shoot with the laces, it's a lot easier than trying to not shoot with the laces.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be intentional about doing that. Only problem is my ball doesn't have like big indentures to
Yeah.
get into the laces. So it's very inconsistent. It's like, okay, how do I get to the grip and how do I practice it so when I'm pulling up or when I'm spotting up, like I don't have to take like a second to find the laces. Just getting
hmm
that up to speed is taking a minute, but it's
Yeah.
getting there. It's kind
It's
of
good.
like night and day. Like when I get my hands on the laces and I feel good,
hmm
it's going ahead. But when I don't, it's like I don't feel confident with the rotation, and I'm relying on like pure like accuracy, which I'm pretty accurate. Like
Yeah.
if I was shooting well from three, but like before, like being intentional about the laces, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Should
yeah,
help.
it's like I'm just trying to find little niches where it's like what could help in my mid-range game that I can just keep consistent. Because once I find something consistent that works,
Yeah.
I just
The
abuse it.
lock.
So.
Yeah. Pretty cool, man.
All right, what is a lock that we know of right now is Mike Brown, Knicks coach,
Yeah.
um, finally over. I think it was a move that it wasn't the sexiest, but
Oh, yeah.
when you look at like his coaching resume and like who he's coached, this is a very impressive like resume for not having a championship yet. I don't think he had a championship. So, um,
Uh,
coach
as an
25 plus
assistant.
years. Okay. Coach Kobe, Coach LeBron. He's been to the NBA Finals.
Hmm.
He's oh yeah, with Golden State, and and then he's done his work with the Kings. But people remember like the instant complaining and the refs like during like the press conferences
Oh
and stuff
right.
like that. I like this move a lot. In theory, this should move the needle, like given all the stuff that's happened in the East. But
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the signing?
I think it's interesting. Um, it's it's weird because he's won Coach of the Year twice, but I think both times he's been fired from those teams. So it's a classic Coach of the Year win Coach of the Year and get fired. Like Coach of the Year doesn't really mean anything except in that singular season. And he really did something there on the Kings where he made a team that was just decrepit. No one cared. Not even their fans really cared. They were sad. And then you get the beam, this great season, and it kind of went away from there. I don't know if it was just they were so new, and then everyone's just like, oh, now we know what to do against the Kings, especially after that game set, like the 7 game series with the Warriors that year in 23. I don't know. I think he is a defensive coach a little bit, and I think that's a big thing the Knicks need because man, it is tough with both Brunson and Towns starting. So I think it's gonna be the first thing he does, and I guess it's just is he that much better than Thibodeau? I don't know. But I guess at this point they were just like, we've had Thibodeau for 4 years now. He just doesn't play guys until his back is against the wall and he's desperate. So maybe they just thought they needed a new face, and that's the button all the teams want to push. You don't get as far as you think, coach. Switch out the coach, just right there. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Yeah.
I hate doing this because Cat has big games, but like
Mhm.
he's kind of like the focal point for me.
Yeah.
For me, I like if I'm like trying to get to the championship, you got to have a defensive big that's consistent, or a guy
Yeah.
that's like savvy defensive, like guys that you're like, okay, I'm not going to test this guy every time. Like you got to make opposing offenses not pick on your big as a matchup. Like
Yeah.
that's where the league has gone now from a defensive point of view. Like if your big is a weakness defensively, you're done. You're absolutely done. And I think that I want to get rid of Brunson because obviously he's your go-to guy. But
Yeah.
like Carl Anthony Towns is like, would I rather have him or Bam? I'd probably say Bam. Like to be honest, like I'd rather
Mm.
have Bam because he can still give you the scoring, the same scoring as Cat, but he also gives you that defensive intensity you need.
Yeah.
And then when you have like a ring trio without a single All Star appearance, as good as OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges,
Mhm.
that's a great start. And then that's just their starting five. They've just shown like over the course, like I've always liked Miles McBride. I've always liked
Yeah.
Victor Robinson. I always liked Jordan Clarkson, who they added,
That's
and then
big.
Yabusele, who's looking to prove himself a lot. And
Yeah.
that's on top of like what DeLon Wright and
Shamit.
Shamit did in the playoffs. Like they were huge. So right there, you got 11 players on your roster that all played or can play significant contributions to this team. And it's on Mike Brown to use them in the way that's most efficient. So I think there's a lot of promise where this team is headed, but it's like, how do we how do we harmonize the two? Because they had a really good offensive team.
Mhm.
How do we harmonize that and defensively in a way that doesn't like require us to play our starting lineup 35 plus minutes?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and I think one thing I saw online, well, just a big thought I have offensively is you got like Jalen Brunson's great. I will never say that Jalen Brunson's a bad player. He's an awesome player, but he just can't hold the ball the whole time. That just doesn't work. You can't have a 6'1", 6 foot guard just hold the ball the whole time. As much as you love Jalen Brunson, it just doesn't work. It literally, when you have Cat who can create offensively, you have Mikhail who showed some creation in Brooklyn. Like you'd say, who cares? But he also did it in the end of the playoffs here when they needed it, and
yeah,
or when Brunson was out. So it's doable. You got Jordan Clarkson who can get a shot whenever he wants to. Now it might not be an amazing shot, but it's a shot. And you have Kolek, you have the guys we just said, Deuce McBride, like we need movement on this team. And I think that's what Mike Brown did with the Kings. He's getting handoffs, getting like that's part of what revitalized that Kings team.
Their offense is one of the most efficient ones in this first season. I think they were like top
Yep.
10.
Yeah,
And plus,
exactly.
he brings that defensive acumen you say. So I think from both ends, they're not sacrificing one
Hmm.
side or the other.
Yep. But I think the big thing for Cat is he can't. It's not that he's slow because he's able to drive on offense. He can move north to south fine, but it's the east to west shifting around. And I don't know. Like I say all the time, I'm not an NBA player. I'm not a trainer. I'm not this. But man, if you're, what has Carl Anthony Towns improved in these past few years? Like I don't really know. He hasn't made huge leaps. Bro, just take the summer and work on some mobility, man. Get some hip action so you could slide. Now I get it. He's a 7 footer. Might not be that easy.
Oh, he's got movement, man. He's got movement. We've seen the celebrations and stuff. He's capable of
Exactly.
movement.
So, dog, just because I think it's a big thing. That's a big thing, especially like lower levels of basketball. Like with my friends on our team, like some guys are like, oh man, I'm so tired. I don't feel like I can move anymore. And that's happened to me. And it's just the fact that you might be tight in some places, and it's like running an engine with no oil. It's gonna seize up if you go too hard. And so
Yeah.
it's just learning what things you gotta fix, what parts you kind of gotta grease up. So Carl Anthony Towns, get some get one of the NBA trainers you have to tell you how to move better left or right. I don't know. Yeah, I just thought of that. So I
That's a
think
great
it should
analogy.
be good.
Great analogy over here. Um, as far as ceiling goes, I it don't know. Like, do I put them on level with the Cavs now? In case I'm a disappointment? Probably.
You
But
have to.
what about the Magic? What about like these other teams that are coming up? Like, I I'm just skeptical of like, is the starting personnel good enough? From like the Jalen Brunson cat,
Oh
things like we
yeah.
mentioned, where it's like, could Mike Brown solve the issues there? We shall
Hmm.
see. We shall see. But they're also in a position where if they trade Cat mid-season for like a
Yeah.
haul, say they trade him to the Mavs, for example, so you
Yo.
already have AD, and they got like a Gafford or like a Lively or something like that to fill up
No,
their five.
not lively.
I'm not recommending it, but I'm
I
just
would
saying,
never,
like, if you
never.
swap out Towns for a different type of center,
Yeah, that would
like,
help.
would that
Um,
fix their problem? Like,
but
because offensively they can score with anybody.
hmm
I don't think that will be the issue. I think what
no.
will be the issue is in the in the three like and 4.5 minute stretch at the end of games in the playoffs. How
Hmm.
do they like how they how sound are they defensively?
Yep. And I think, dang, I just had a thought. Oh man, no, don't tell me it just left my mind. So, gosh darn it. So we were talking about no, not Cat. Oh, okay. So the Knicks, I don't know what their ceiling is, but at the very least, what their expectation for this year is who are the best teams? Them and the Cavs, or them and the Cavs in the East. The first sure proven teams that have made it far or look good enough to make it far in the playoffs. Yeah, the Magic are there now. The Pacers are out because of no Tyrese. Celtics are out.
No Miles Turner either.
Yeah, because of Jason Tatum and them just deciding to blow it up. Sixers, you can't say what they even are. So that's three teams there that could have done something that won't.
I will say this: if five things go right and all five ifs involving health for the Sixers, they
Yeah.
have equal amount of talent.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
counting on any of the ifs to be right for a full season has never gone right.
So it's
But the young
mhm.
talent on that team, though,
Yeah.
that could be the difference maker if these two things happen. One,
Yep.
Joel Embiid is healthy. That's a big if.
The largest
And then,
if.
and then two, if Paul George refines himself, and
Yeah.
that's going to involve him taking some things into his control, and then also the
Yeah.
coaching staff and maximizing it. because
Yeah.
they made a big investment in Paul George, and um, at the very least, he's got to show up. So, um, I mean, but that's why also you got Edgecombe, right? So it's like um, you can get yourself out of the PG situation
Yeah. But
after a year or two and stuff. But like
mhm.
the Sixers, talent wise on paper, have everything they need to like make some noise and be a top 4 team.
Yeah,
But
they
I hear you.
could.
I hear you. Based on what we've seen last year, Cavs next,
So yeah,
automatic.
Cavs, Knicks, and then Magic. I think could get into this top two, make a
Right.
fight. I can't think of any other East team. I mean the Hawks. Okay, let's say the Hawks. That's four teams that I think the Cavs and the Knicks are definitely over them, but Hawks, Magic are in there. If
Hawks look great after all the offseason. They look like a
yeah,
real contender on paper. I want to see how it all fits together with them, like after the first 20 games of the season.
yeah,
Like I
but
know we raved about them last episode, but um, I want to see how it all fits.
mhm,
And I know Trae Young has improved a lot defensively,
yeah,
but that would be my only worry with that team. I think everything else is like they could make some noise.
yeah. So in that sense, if you're the Knicks, and even if you're us, you have to think the Knicks are expecting at least to make the conference finals and hopefully the finals. And if they don't do that, what happens there? You were so close. You were so close. You had all of the fans at MSG just screaming after just getting into the conference finals. Like they're itching to get to the next level. And so yeah, I think there's a good amount of pressure and maybe we don't know what the ceiling is, but we know what they really want their floor to be. So we'll see what they do. They've got a lot of ideation and cooking to go through this summer.
You know who else was cooking?
Who?
3-team trade over here.
True.
After all the craziness from like the last
Yeah.
week we described, Utah Jazz, I like Clippers, Miami Heat doing some swapping around. Now it wasn't any like superstar made like movement here, but
Yeah.
John Collins goes to the Clippers.
Mhm.
Norman Powell goes to Miami, and then Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love go to Utah. Utah, they're in transition. They're trying to
Yeah.
build a youth movement there. Um, Norman Powell to the Miami Heat is big though because
It's huge.
now it's not just Bam and Tyler Hero, like getting all the offensive production. You have a guy that is capable in doing that with Powell by himself. So
Hmm.
you have that. I still have questions with what Miami's trying to do, but I think they're taking steps in the right direction. John Collins is something that I didn't see coming. I didn't see
No.
a pairing with him and Kawhi and Harden, like pairing out. But like when you look at what the Clippers did in the playoffs with like Harden trying to guard power forwards because he got like
Yeah.
Derrick Jones Jr. and then like all
Hmm.
these guards and like Powell, for example, like trying to guard like the other guys. Like you didn't want them guarding power forwards, so you stuck Harden with them.
No.
And
Yeah.
I think that kind of hurt them to some degree. So like a move like this is like totally reasonable. Um, I see why the Clippers did it. I'm very curious to see how they replicate the scoring aspect of it and whether they're comfortable with the Harden Kawhi led scoring output. But like I see where the Clippers are coming from, especially when you look at like the Denver series, where it's
Hmm.
like, okay, you got Joker and you got Aaron Gordon. There's not like a unique way to defend them with what they had personnel wise. So John Collins definitely helps in that regard. Um, I think, and combined with the injuries that Kawhi and Powell had last year and coming back from it, it's yeah. I I didn't like that the Clippers got rid of Powell, but like to make a
Yeah.
move like this for John Collins, I felt like they had to. So yeah, hopefully he plays in more games. I'm excited to see what he does next to Zubac. And yeah, what are your thoughts on this trade?
I think it's really interesting for the Heat, right? You get that creator, another creator with Hero, so it's not just um, Bam Hero. I a few a few reasons it makes me sad is one, the Heat drafted Kaspers Yakachonis out of Illinois, and I didn't think he was going to start, but this definitely puts him lower on the pecking order than I would like. And we'll talk about that more in the draft segment. But another sad part is after he got traded, Kevin Love, I think he tweeted it. He's like, "Man, in my whole career, I never thought I'd be part of a math problem because I was like to make the trade work. If there's the math to match the salaries, now he's in Utah. Who knows what's gonna happen? And then for Utah, I just don't know what is gonna happen to Lauri Markkinen because Jordan Clarkson, one veteran, gone. Colin Sexton, another veteran, gone. Uh, God, there was another guy.
Back to Chicago, of course. I don't
Colin
know how we're
Sexton.
gonna afford him.
No. He went to the Hornets. There's another guy. Well, John Collins. That he's gone now too. So Larry Markin is the only adult in this room. Oh, I know Kevin Love and who else got traded with him? Kevin Love and
Anderson, Kyle Anderson.
Anderson. I don't know what's gonna be done with them. But if I'm Larry Markin, I'm like, man, I'm trying to get out of here because this is literally I'm literally running a daycare right now for these guys, and it's good for the Jazz, but if you're Larry Markkinen, you don't want to be here. You literally didn't play games last year because of how bad the Jazz wanted to be. Now they still got Ace Bailey. It wasn't ideal. They didn't capture the flag, but they got a good player. So I say look at that, and yeah, I think John Collins as a 4 next to Zubats or Brook Lopez is very interesting. I yeah, but you do like you said, you get kind of thinned out that creator position. Now it's just Harden, who in the regular season is great. But we all know the playoff Harden where, man, that was a great game 1, James. Let's do it again. Oh, a decent game 2, and then it just falls off from there, and you get nothing. So I don't know.
It
And
seems buyout potential. That's what I'm seeing here with like Kevin Love, and then
for sure.
I think Anderson could have 1 or 2 more years, like starting on the team, like could get them some depth there. Like at least till you get like Ace Bailey and then like Clayton, like up to
Mm-hmm.
speed and like try to figure out where they fit with the current rotations and stuff. But um, like he's he's a valuable asset where you can trade him to contender and get some more draft picks. I think Utah's kind of in the state of like, let's
Yeah.
clear the cap, let's get more draft picks, let's try and put ourselves in the situation like OKC has and like the Rockets have. So it's I think that's where they're at right
Mm-hmm.
now. But um, yeah, it was definitely an odd way to do it because you would think that Markin and Collins and like
Yeah.
young guys pairings might work for that team, but Clayton, it gives them a lot of size, and
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see like a Sexton or a Clayton, depending on who ends up winning the starting point guard role,
Yeah.
with like an Ace Bailey, Markkanen, Clayton, Kyle. I think that could work. You're very athletic. You have a lot of
Sure.
size. Like that could be something that not a lot of teams can match, and that gives it an advantage. But they decided to go in a different direction to try and like manage this team.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fault them for it, but it's definitely they're trying to get more salary cap so they can make a run at one of these stars. Now, how well they build the installation of this roster will be totally up to Ainge,
Yeah.
because you don't see a lot of players wanting to come to Utah like constantly, right? So
Yeah.
it's a tough place to
Uh,
play, man.
well, I know the fans are really good. That's what I've heard, and you see it if you got NBA League Pass, you see the halftime. Everyone's there. There's a lot of people there, but yeah, I think one thing if any of those guys I want to keep, like Love or Kyle Anderson, I would low key want to keep Kyle Anderson. He's such a high IQ guy.
Right.
There was one play when he played on the Timberwolves in the 24 playoffs against the Mavs, where I don't know who was dribbling, but it's probably Mike Conley, right? But Cat is going to the corner, and Kyle Anderson is around there, and then he just like his guy isn't guarding him because right he's not that big of a threat to shoot. So he goes up to Cat's guy, screens him as Cat goes into the corner, and that's a pass right to Cat for a 3. I'm like that's such a high IQ play that isn't very obvious, but it's that kind of nuance you want to impart on these younger guys because now obviously not the Walter Clayton, he has the ball, Isaiah Collier, but guys like Ace Bailey, who if he's off ball, like these are small things that if you do that as a player, you just instantly raise your value and make it a lot easier for your teammates to score. So I think they should keep him, but aside from that, this is a reasonable trade. The one thing for the Clippers is I think because Powell made a lot more money than Collins, something like that. The Clippers are a candidate to get Bradley Beal if the if the Suns somehow
I
buy him
did see
out.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did see that. That was.
So that solves
I
your
don't
ball
know. I don't know
handling.
why you would do that as a Clippers team, but like, if there was a coach to maximize his talent, it would be Tyronn Lue. Like, look
Yeah.
at what had happened with Harden. Like,
Hmm.
I wouldn't completely rule it out. Because I look at their guard situation, you got
Yeah.
Chris Dunn, Cam Christie, Kobe Brown, Trenton Flowers, uh, James
Right.
Harden, Patty Mills, Ben Simmons. You would need a guy like Bradley Beal, like from a
Yeah.
scoring perspective. So I totally get the justification for wanting him.
Hmm.
I forgot about Bogdanovich. That's pretty
Yeah, but
I forget. But um, you don't get quite a talent like Bradley Beal who can create his own shot from the guard position outside of Harden, right?
yeah.
So it's I can see the the appeal for him. So.
So interesting stuff, and I even heard stuff that Chris Paul might make a return on a minimum. This is last year, so could be fun, but we'll see.
All right, ready for some draft talk? It's been a
Yeah,
while. It's been about 2 weeks, so
true. Jeez.
lot of lot of fun landing spots. I have a couple ones, major names, and it's going to sound funny. This first one I laid out basically on like how much news was covering it, but um, yeah. Do you want to start us off, or do you want me to?
Um, I guess how many guys did I have? I had okay, so I guess ain't not my favorite. Actually, okay. So my favorite easily was kind of niche guy was what's his face? Carter Bryant going to the Spurs. He's just 3-and-D wing, hit threes, play. He's got good wingspan. Played great at Arizona. Um, and I think it's like everyone wants what Carter Bryant will become, and at the college level, what he was, the 3-and-D wing. And I think that's perfect for playing with Wemby. You give him space, it'll be fun. So, and it low key gives you the opportunity to trade some of these other guys like Keldon Johnson, and even Devin Vassell. I don't know when, if you think there's something better out there,
I was
and you,
thinking Barnes. Barnes is the veteran that people
yeah,
are
right.
like want to get rid of. So
Hmm.
yeah, but no, I totally get it. When you look at like him matching up at fours and then like the potential,
Yeah.
he's 19, right? The
Hmm.
potential to get stronger as you go along, like he could be a really like he might start out as low usage like on that team because they're trying to figure themselves out, but like 3-and-D thing I completely get.
Yeah.
Some comparisons I've seen are Marvin Williams. Um,
Marvin Williams. Oh, Marvin Williams. Yes. I was
he
like,
was the number 2 overall pick. Played on the
jeez.
Hornets, I believe.
He did. He
Um,
did. Oh man.
he averaged 11 points and 5 rebounds. I
Really?
think he has a little bit more value
I
than
I
most.
definitely think so.
Like, yeah, granted, but this was 2005, right? Different
There we
league,
go.
different style of play. But
Yep.
um,
Hmm.
I think playing around Wemby, you're going to get a lot more opportunities where, like,
Yeah.
especially when people are scared to sniff the paint near Wemby, like you have opportunities for steals or like help defense,
Definitely.
um, like close out opportunities that you otherwise might not in a different team. And I think just for the potential there, like great fit. I like that selection. For me, I'm gonna pick a guy who apparently didn't want to be here. Like didn't want to be picked at all. Like we already talked a little bit about him. It's Ace Bailey with the Utah Jazz.
It
Maybe a
is.
homer pick being from Rutgers. But I guess for me, oh no, I'm looking at Trey Johnson's analysis as I'm
Oh,
talking here.
on
But also
NBA.com.
another great, yeah. Uh, at the Athletic actually, but um,
Okay.
I think he's a project, but
Hmm.
it's the kind of investment you want to make. Another 3-and-D guy where if things go right, he can be the top playmaker on the team. He could be the go-to guy, and he has all the tangibles to do it.
Yeah.
Um, the one thing that worries me is his IQ decision making as a passer. I'm like trying to anticipate like who's cutting open or like playmaking. But if things go right from the point guard spot and what the
Yeah.
Jazz are trying to do, I don't think it will be an issue. Now, um, there's a high floor, but it's a ceiling. It's a ceiling. You're trying to see like how close is he like able to reach on that. He's
Yeah.
18. He's
Hmm.
18, and the Jazz are doing like a youth movement. So um, we already talked about the front court. They freed it up one part of it by trading away John Collins, but um, I think he fits as a 3 when you're thinking about playing next to
Yeah.
Markkinen and Kessler.
Oh
So
yeah. That's gonna be fun. And um, Ace Bailey is a guy who can hit any shot, man. And that's his greatest weakness or his strength, but also his greatest weakness because it's like me in 2K sometimes. If I can hit like me with 2012 KD, man, if I'm really in the mood, I'm just gonna be hitting middies the whole time, and I might be missing a bunch of them, but I'm just gonna keep shooting them, and that's what Ace Bailey does. He takes really tough shots, and at this level, it's gonna be making those correct reads, having that impulse control to say, "Man, I'm itching to shoot another midi after I've missed five. I shouldn't do it, and I should do something else." And driving in the paint, I think that was a big thing that scouts were saying was an issue with him. Because right when you have such a good jumper and you practice a lot, you don't want to do anything else. And also, like we've talked about step backs, it's less work to dribble up, step back three, step back midi than get in the paint, get clobbered, beat up.
well,
So
that's the thing. Like I think that's another weakness where like I think ball gathers and like learning to
mm-hmm.
improvise like
Yeah,
those and your finishing ability is super important because
definitely.
with the way the league is trending now, like you can't telegraph where your layup is going on the backboard
Yeah.
because you're taught to hit the corner of the back square on the backboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now in this league, you see how Kyrie finishes and whatnot. He's purposely fizzing like
Yeah.
yeah, he puts a lot of English on it, but like sometimes he'll place the ball like 3 inches above the top of the square in the
Yeah.
backboard, like way higher than you expect. And Steph does it too. Like you see
Mm-hmm.
some of Steph's layups are like floaters, so you're like just like almost reaching the height of like the shot clock and then falling in. Like it's
Yeah.
insane. So I think that's a big weakness of Bailey right now. And um, if he's able to find a way to navigate that,
Mm-hmm.
it's only going to keep him on off balance as far as like trying to defend him, and it's going to give him more options like to make his scoring easier.
Yeah.
And if that happens, I think it's an easy all-star slam dunk. And I know there's a lot of talent in the league right now, but
Yeah.
he can, given where his athletic gifts are, he can play with anybody.
Yeah, no, he could be great. So I'm excited to see what he does. And looks like he'll stay in Utah. I know there's some ruckus that he didn't like it there, but it looks like he's liking it in summer league.
Okay,
Oh,
who you
right.
got?
So after Carter Bryant, I would say because I am 1,000% biased with my wrong way Illinois jersey right here with me. We talked about him earlier. KJ, Lithuanian demon, Kasparas Jakučionis. I think it's because he kind of slipped on this draft. There was some talk that he had suffered an ankle injury in a workout previously, so that's why he slipped a lot. He was lottery, I think even. So the fact that he dropped to 20 is pretty big, and I think I love him going to the Heat because the one thing he needed to work on was one just effort on defense and getting through screens. So many times last year watching Illinois, I got so pissed that any screen just instant death, not actual death, but like you just couldn't get around it. And there's a method to learning how to get around screens, and I hope he learns that. And I actually saw a post, like an Illinois Miami Heat co-post, where like the Heat guys like, yeah, like he's so um not intense. He's so just like puts in a lot of effort defensively. I was like, that's good for him and good for the Heat because this is a guy who, whenever Tyler Hero phases out, Norman Powell phases out, this is a guy you could kind of keep there in the background. And I like he's like in that Luka Doncic mold of I'm having the ball, dot dot dot. It was a bit too experimental at times at U of I, but he can get there. So if the defense goes and he gets better taking contact, I think he'll be a great player.
I think his ability to process the game
Hmm.
for like his size and
Yeah.
position, and he has great size for his position, but I think his ability to process the game is what a lot of scouts fall in love with.
Hmm.
He can dribble, pass, shoot really well, but I think where the game is headed, if you're able to process the game to the point of like great IQ, that's what something Miami as a franchise covets a lot, and he fits that mold. And when you're thinking about the backcourt next to Davion Mitchell, that's a great contrast. And
Yep.
his upside is like think of Bogdanovich, but a little bit better. Like a better passing Bojan Bogdanovich. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is pretty nice considering like what the Heat covet. Like
Yeah.
because they would like a lot of 3-point shooters that can defend well, but this
Yeah.
guy gives you much more than that. So he could definitely be a primary playmaker on this team if he places all the right tools and like builds on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very interesting.
Similar guy, I think, from a different sense. Like I don't know if it's just me with shooters and just like falling in love with, um, like how well to shoot the ball, like where the game is headed. I know I said this about Reed Shepard, and I might get knocked on this guy when I say it, but Con Knipple,
Yeah.
that is a guy I really like with the landing spot, especially with a guy like LaMelo Ball by playing around him. Like I think he's going to elevate the offense in a different way, make it a lot more efficient and easy. Um, like they didn't have a lot of shooting on the roster, and he could definitely do that. He can put a lot of points up. I think um, the big worry with him is just defending, like and switching and defending and placing himself in those situations. I think he might be able to do that, but the point with him is he's a lot more versatile than just a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I think the hope for him is like you can become like an elite Klay Thompson, like in
Mm-hmm.
his prime, which that would be fantastic if um, think about like Klay and Steph, right? If you have Klay and Lamella Ball, where Lamella Ball is like you pull like push the Steph accelerator up on the playmaking,
Yeah.
and lower it a tad, lower it a little bit for the shooting, like that can work. That can work from an offensive situation where you got to think about like multiple playmakers. So I think for like the deficiency he addresses in the Hornets right now, and like what more he can do than just shoot the ball, I really like the landing spot here.
Yeah. And I think a big thing, right? He gets comped to Klay Thompson a lot, and no shade to Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's great. I actually just saw a video on Twitter where it was just Klay Thompson cutting. That was great. That's how he scored 37 points in a quarter and had 60 points on 11 dribbles. But anywho, moving on. In the ACC tournament, Duke obviously primed to win the thing. The ACC conference, ACC in general is just terrible, dog water, horrendous. If you didn't watch college basketball, and Cooper Flag gets injured in the first game, and you might think, man, they could be cooked. This might not be a good look. And Conker Nipple says, like, pass me the rock. I'm gonna cook, and we're gonna win this. And he wins like the MVP of the tournament. Now, again, like I said, ACC's Schmid, but you keep developing that, and he doesn't need to be that playmaker, but secondary playmaker, attacking, and he's a neutral defender at the least, and he's got that big, strong frame. He could really be something, and I think he's really interesting. He comes from a really big basketball family too. At the draft, it was all of his brothers. All of his brothers also have K names, so they're K Knipple, and it's so funny. And they're his dad and his two brothers won like a 3v3 tournament in Wisconsin, and who knows when. So they love ball over there. So makes sense how he's in the draft. Very interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty. Yeah, his twins and like the
Yeah.
generational like growing up with ball. Like I mean, that'd be fantastic. Like I would love the life there. But another guy that they played against in the championship game, and wait,
In
no,
the
no, it was
semifinals.
Houston and Florida. I was thinking of my bracket and thinking how I had Duke up there,
Yeah,
but
I did too.
no, Florida, the Florida guy, Walter Clayton.
Yeah,
He
he's
fell a
insane.
lot lower than I was thinking.
See, he was
Ended
in
up going
second
to
round.
he ended up going to Utah, same
He
team as
did.
Ace Bailey, and I really love this landing spot for him. Um, reason why is because when you read the reports on him, it's
Yeah,
like, oh, he could just be a scorer off the bench, and like that's kind of like where he's going to show up in the league. But I did not see that when I was watching him. I
Mm.
was looking at a guy who's continuing to play make, especially in the championship game when like teams are keying in on him and like he was not scoring the ball well. And I don't just see him as like a pull up jumper off a pick and roll specialist. I see a lot more to his game. And I think he could become one of the steals of the draft um,
Yeah.
because he should have been picked in the lottery when you're looking at like his ability to score the ball. I think an issue is he's a willing defender and not
Hmm.
necessarily has physical size to
Yeah.
compensate. But I think his level of fight on defense will keep him in the lineups and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
um, he might start off the bench in the NBA, but if he improves like how well he reads ball screens, which he's perfectly capable of doing, and become like better at passing the ball, um, he could be a future like top 10 scoring guard in the league.
Yeah.
Yes, that type of potential. Um, I don't want to say he reminds me of Jamal Murray, but
Yeah.
like that's
A little bit.
probably not from just like they look like the same player, but like it's
Yeah.
he he honestly could take some things from his game and be a better like have a better career as a result. Like
Yeah.
he just has a unique cadence to how he plays the game where I think I just don't see his limitations as like a high volume scorer out the bench. I think he could be a starting guard.
Yeah. Uh, the way he drove really surprised me. In that, I don't know if it was the national championship or the semifinal against Duke. He would just go up to the rim, not scared, and say, "Oh, there's guys here. Let me finagle, lay, like easy." And I think it's the big thing in the league now. That's why a lot of people were very confused why the Pelicans drafted Jeremiah Fears at 7. When you're a small guard, getting closer to the 6 foot side, 6'1", 6'2", even 6'3" is starting to become a stretch now. It's kind of scary because no matter how skilled or intense you are on defense, you don't have those tools. It's like you're trying to build a house with caveman tools, you know? And it's tough because as a kid, I was like, oh man, what if I get in the NBA? I didn't know I was gonna be 6 feet tall, and even then, if I just get plopped on an NBA court now, no matter how hard I try, I'm way too short, way too weak, and I don't have those tools. So it's kind of good I didn't fully try to do that, but it's crazy how the league is going that way because you're you, 6'5" is now like the minimum height where you're like, this guy is a good height. He's perfectly fine in the league.
He should be a point guard.
Exactly. That's the thing. It used to be 6 foot. I mean, Jameer Nelson is like six. I don't know why that was my first thought, but he's like 6 feet tall. Ty Lawson. Am I just gonna rip off Raymond Felton? I'm just gonna rip off some names, right? I mean, he had Muggsy Bogues. I just played with Muggsy Bogues over the break on 2K, and it was it was painful.
Nate
Like my
Robinson
mom.
is steaming right now.
Oh, I
You
didn't see
didn't
that.
mention him.
I was gonna say my mom is the same height as Muggsy Bogues, and that just tweaks me out every time. Um, any other small guards that I want to give love to? I mean, even Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is 6'2", and
Isaiah Thomas has been like, what the heck, man?
true. Oh my god, I saw a 2017 thing or like
Cancel
video
this
of him
man for
with two.
forgetting these legends.
Hey, I was going deep, man. Ty Lawson. I don't know why I just like Ty Lawson so much,
I
but
remember him.
he was good.
Fun player.
But yeah, size, tools, size, shooting. Yes, and
Okay.
dribbling.
Um, that's it for my list. I don't know if you had others.
I was just I didn't really I did want to bring up the fact that Hansen Young Hansen got drafted at 16 or 16 was kind of insane. That was funny.
People did not like that at all.
Yeah. I guess I was looking through all the players here before he got on. And the one guy I thought was interesting just because I remember him playing against Illinois. Amari Williams getting drafted by the Celtics, and I was like, could he start for the Celtics if they don't want to start Luka Garza? He's a 7 footer from Kentucky, and he dropped a bunch of points. I don't know if he knocked Illinois out this year or the year before or something like that. I just remember being like, how can this guy just keep scoring? And he just gets in the paint. He's 7 feet tall with 7'5" wingspan, and also he's got passing chops, and I think that's very
Really good
interesting.
passer. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an
The
interesting
Jokic.
pick.
They found their
Yeah,
Jokic.
yeah. Also, I just want to point out Janai Broom. A guy who was in contention for National Player of the Year at the college level gets drafted at 35. Someone else that happened to, Luka Garza, who actually won National Player of the Year. And I always find it so funny that like these really good players at one level, these top elite, top end Ferrari, Lamborghini, sports car, everything player at college, you bring them to the NBA, don't even barely get playing time. And it's just crazy. It's crazy how it's just the NBA is like the stock market where your value is based off what people think your value is. And it's just such a crazy thing.
It's messed up.
Yeah, for those guys. Yeah.
Alrighty, that will do it for us. Now it's just summer league time, so just I
Yeah.
haven't watched games yet, but I saw a little bit of like Edgecombe versus
Oh, Ace
Ace
Bailey.
Bailey highlights. A little bit disappointed from there, but looking at the
The
stat lines,
shooting, gosh.
should be fun. I'll keep some
Yeah.
tabs on the young players now in this lull period before the NFL starts. But
True.
Diego, before we go, round us off.
Oh yeah. No follows there at the Instagram. See you guys next week. Peace.
Well done, sir. Done good.